A society to have order and to protect its citizens must have rules. Rules or laws are created and agencies are formed to enforce the rules. In the United States, you are innocent until proven guilty. Our judicial system, our courts, have the task of determining guilt. When guilt is found, the courts mete out the consequences. If we follow the rules of our society, we may never have to face the bar of justice inside a criminal courtroom. Join us now as we see an actual Lake County court in session.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Judge Miller. Could all of you, including the visitors we have in the room, please raise your right hands? All the way, right hand, all the way. Do each of you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, and this you do under the pains and penalty of perjury? Yes. Thank you. You can put your hands down. Each of you has a right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. When you get to the microphone, please let me know if you're under 18. Please let me know if you're not a citizen of the United States. If you're not a citizen of the United States, entering a plea today could affect your immigration status. Please let me know if you're on probation or parole, because if you plead today, it could affect your probation or parole status. If you plead today, you're giving up your right to have a trial and have an attorney represent you at the trial. Today, we're being tape recorded, that's what the blue light means, and videotaped. If I sentence you on a criminal case, you need to go to room 105 and either sign up for the payment plan or pay it in full. The least that can be is $273. That is in addition to whatever we sentence you to here in the courtroom. All right, we're going to start with in custody. Christopher Golong, to the microphone, please. Mr. Golong, you are charged with possession of marijuana. State, could you please give us your recommendation?
Yes, Your Honor. Karen Ibaranda for the state. At this time, the state offers an adjudication of guilt and credit time served. There's a mandatory cost of $85 to the city of Eustis.
Okay, if you played today, it would be time served. There will be mandatory costs, the costs I just talked about, and added to those will be $80 that the city of Eustis is asking. But we have an added problem in that this is a drug charge, and the state of Florida will suspend you for 2 years unless you get some drug counseling. Do you have a driver's license?
No, I don't.
Are you planning on getting a driver's license?
Not right now.
All right, here's what I'm going to say. If you're in agreement, we'll say if in 6 months I don't have proof of a drug class, I'm going to suspend your driving record. Whether you have a license or not, your record will have a suspension, and you'll have to do the drug class before you can get a license. So 6 months from now, if you don't bring us proof of at least a 4-hour stop class, your license will be suspended for 2 years. Are we clear?
Yes.
Are you entering a no contest plea, or do you want to say not guilty and talk to the public defender?
I accept the plea.
All right, time served. Are you in jail for any other reason other than this marijuana charge?
No.
All right, then you should be getting out within a few hours. All right, next we have Brian Allen. Mr. Allen, you're charged with driving while license suspended. You have a valid driver's license now. We were trying to keep you from having to go on probation to save you that money. You had a valid license. Is it still good today?
Yes, ma'am.
And you were going to pay $200 today.
And yes.
You ready to do that?
No, ma'am. I wasn't able to accomplish it in the time to
Okay,
give.
that's fine. Then we have to go with the other plan.
Okay.
It's 6 months probation. You can get off of probation as soon as you pay the $200.
All right.
But probation will cost you $55 a month.
Okay.
All right, you're present. And you plead no contest. I find you guilty. When you leave here, you're going to have to go pay the mandatory costs. Room 105, or sign up for the
Set
payment
it up?
plan.
Yes, ma'am.
Habitual. If you get 3 in a 5-year period, Tallahassee will take your license for
Explained
5
it
years.
before, yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, you're going to go to the payment plan. It's $200.
Yes.
And it's 6 months probation, early term. And he does need to be printed.
Now, what do I do as far as setting up my probation? What do I do there?
Probation, I'm sorry, I thought I told everyone. Probation is right outside these double doors. There's a little room on the left. Someone's there right now.
Yes, thank you.
All right, sorry it didn't work out.
I appreciate the offer, though, thank you.
Wanda Slay? Okay, we did the same thing for you if we could. We gave you a little more time to finish everything so we didn't have to do jail. Did you finish everything?
No, I didn't. I actually, honest to God, I didn't know that I was supposed to finish all that in a month. I thought he said he closed the case.
Wait a minute, I didn't. It just says continue to finish community service.
Yeah, because he said he closed the case because there was the option
Wait a
of one or
minute,
the
I don't
other.
know. This note says you still owe us a clean screen, and then the court sheet note says finish community service.
It was a clean screen in a couple of classes, and he said because I had complied and I had done 3 screens and I had done
Let me
almost
read.
all the classes.
Let me catch up.
Okay.
Are you still attending the classes?
No, well, I can go back. I can finish them if I need to finish the stuff. If you want, I'm so sorry. I thought you extended me to do the community
Defendant
service.
failed to complete the recommended drug treatment, but the defendant is currently enrolled and attending weekly.
Right. I called him back and I told him that y'all had carried me over for the month to do the community service.
Because you were already doing the rest. I didn't say quit in the middle of everything.
If you can give me another month, I'll finish them. I'll do the screen and I can finish more of the community service.
All right, go out and talk to the probation officer and have him or her come in here and tell me their recommendation at this point, because
Okay.
you kind of messed up our plan.
I'm sorry.
So go talk to them and then come right back. As soon as you come back in, come straight up to the table or come straight up to here with the probation officer. All right, next we have Jessica Phillips, please. Miss Phillips. Why do we have 2 people?
Lives with me. She just turned 18 a few days ago. I didn't really know if you needed.
All right, come on up for moral support. All right, Miss Phillips, you were charged with driving while license suspended, and you got suspended because you dropped out of school?
I was truant for missing so many days for being sick.
So what are you doing with that situation? Are you back in school?
Yes, ma'am. I've been attending school and I actually had got my license before my court date.
You have your license now?
Yes, ma'am.
State, could you look at her license and responsibility withdrawn? April of last year, whoever signed for your license at the beginning withdrew permission. So you should have known you didn't have a license.
Yes, ma'am.
So then you shouldn't have been driving.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, this one's a little bit tricky. She has never had a charge of driving with no license before. She did have a charge 2 years ago of violating her learner's permit. So she apparently drove by herself when she knew she wasn't allowed to drive by
He
herself.
wasn't over the age of 21.
The person was with you, but that person
Only
wasn't.
20. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. This time, her parent or guardian withdrew permission for her to have a driver's license. She knew that and drove anyway. The school suspended her license because she was truant, but when you turn 18, that's supposed to come off your record, and she's fixed it now. So this is like an iffy one. Are you willing to change it to a civil because she has fixed everything, she's back in school, and those are all good things?
Honor, do you also have record of a financial?
I can't hear you.
Do you also have record of financial responsibility suspension on April 23rd?
No, that was parental responsibility.
Okay.
A parent or guardian has to sign for you when you get your driver's license, and because of her behavior, I guess, the parent or guardian said, I'm not covering her anymore, I don't want her to have her license.
Yes, Your Honor, the state will be willing to amend to a civil. It will be $160 plus the $50 cost of prosecution will be $210.
All right, so we're giving you a break on account of you did so much to do better. So good for you. And we're changing it to a civil, 6 months to pay. And we're withholding. Good job. And where are you back in school?
South Lake. I live in Groveland, so
And how are your grades doing?
decent.
Please graduate.
Yes, ma'am.
Good luck. Ernest Larcher, please. Mr. Larcher, you're charged with driving while license suspended. This is the first one for you. You were suspended out of Georgia for not paying a ticket a year and a half ago.
Yes.
What are you doing about that?
I'm actually in the process of, because Georgia's,
You're working on it?
yes, I'm working
If I
on
give
it.
you 2 months, can you come in here with a valid license?
Yes, ma'am. And I also have paperwork to show that I do have a valid Ohio driver's license right now
But you can't drive in Florida.
because of Georgia.
Right.
Yes,
We're
ma'am.
reciprocal with Georgia, and if Georgia has you suspended, we have you suspended.
Yes, ma'am.
So I'll give you, this says you live in Naples?
I'm back and forth. I also stay in Ohio part-time, so.
How'd you happen to get in Lake County?
My sister lives up here. I stay with her.
Okay, we're going to continue this for 2 months, and we're going to ask you to fill out a good address where we can
Yes, ma'am.
contact you, with a good phone number where we can contact you. We're going to continue it for 2 months, May 29th, 2013, 8 a.m. Defendant to
Okay, continue.
fix DL. You have to fix it with Georgia, then bring the proof to Florida, but as long as you're going back and forth, you can still keep your, you said Ohio, license. And your Ohio license may be suspended because I believe Georgia and Ohio are reciprocal also. And if it is suspended, then you can't drive anywhere in the United States. Okay, Rolando Hernandez. Do you speak English? Miss Annie, I guess that would be.
He does, Your Honor. I think he needs my help.
All right, Mr. Hernandez
Sí.
is charged with no driver's license.
Señora, usted se está acusando de no tener licencia.
Mr. Hernandez did not show up when he was supposed, is this,
Usted no se presentó, no compareció cuando
this is today. When do we do a KPS?
Sí.
All right, Miss Annie, he was supposed, let me say the whole thing and then explain it at your leisure. He was supposed to be here last week. When he wasn't here, we issued a KPS, but he called or contacted us, so we told him, go ahead and come in today and we'll withdraw the KPS. And that's what no matter what he pleads to, we're going to withdraw the KPS. But he needs to carry the piece of paper around with him all week to make sure it gets on the computer. Could you tell him that part?
¿Entendido?
Pues sí, porque a mí
Yes.
el papel de que me dieron el ticket, del auto mío me llevaron el papel, todo. Y entonces yo llamé aquí porque el refri me dijo que 10 días, que me puso el ticket y me dijo, tiene 10 días, porque entonces, cada vez que llamaba no entendía, no entiendo.
Every time I called, I did not understand.
Okay, no. It was a standard. This is the first time he's been caught. All right, Miss Annie, this is apparently a first time he's been caught driving in Florida with no license. So it's our standard offer, 6 months probation, early term after he pays $200. Could you tell him if he's caught driving again, it's jail time?
Pero si esto pasa otra vez, que lo agarra manejando sin licencia de conducir vigente, entonces definitivamente va a ser encarcelamiento. ¿Lo entiende, señor?
Sí.
Yes.
All right, he also has, he wasn't wearing a seatbelt. I have, this is the first time, if he enters,
Ya pagué la multa ya.
I already paid for that. Vamos a
okay, we'll double check.
Sí, ahora mismo lo traje. El cheque.
checar el recibo.
Okay, and the KPS is for this case and we're withdrawing it.
Y para
He was at the ticket window to pay. Did he pay?
Usted pagó entonces recién ahora porque usted está. Yes, Your Honor, he did.
Okay, what's the number there? Okay, I don't have the civil. Is it TR 7579? Okay, that's the one she has. Thank you. All right, we'll get him his paperwork in just a moment. He needs to be printed. And if he gets caught driving again without a license, it's jail.
Manejando sin licencia, señor, va a ser
Shaina Harbin, please. Shaina or Shaina?
enseguida le doy papel.
What? Shaina. Okay, Shaina Harbin. You're charged with driving while license suspended. You had one in '07. This time your license is suspended for a Lake County case and 3 Orange County cases. Miss Angie, could I have Shaina Harbin's Lake County case? All right, State, could you give her the offer, please?
Yes, Your Honor, it will be an adjudication of guilt, 6 months probation. The defendant can early terminate probation after paying a $250 fine.
Do you want to go away and come back in a month?
I would love to. I can't even think right now.
What?
I can't even think right now.
So we'll do that, we'll continue it for a month. When?
April 9th.
All right, so we're continuing. You're waiving speedy trial. We're continuing it. We've had lots of things happen in this courtroom, but we don't want a baby coming to be one of them. A month would be, Lisa will just let, May 1st, 2013. All right, we'll see you in a month. Get it fast. Thomas Kickel? Kickel. Mr. Kickel, you are charged with a DUI, refusal to submit to the breath test, and speeding. I don't see a prior refusal, so I don't know if that's a good charge.
Yes, Your Honor, the state announced and no information as to count 2.
All right, okay, so on count 2. All right, the charge of refusing to take the breath test is dropped because in Florida, it's only a crime if you refuse a second time. It's still used against you, and the jury would get to hear about it, but it is a crime only if you've refused before. So we have a DUI. Do you want the state to make a recommendation, or do you want to say, no matter what it is, I'm going to say not guilty, I want to talk to an attorney?
Not guilty.
All right, are you able to afford a private attorney, or do you need the public defender?
Public defender for now.
How much do you make a week?
A week?
A year? How much do you make a year?
16,000.
All right, I'll appoint the public defender. There'll be a $250 minimum charge for their services, and one of these gentlemen will explain to you how you get your appointment.
Thank you.
Jason Tate. Mr. Tate, you've been charged with driving while license suspended. You fixed it now, I have proof of that. All right, you were suspended because your insurance lapsed.
Yes, ma'am.
Just listen to this part and put it in your brain. You have been suspended at least 3 times because your insurance lapsed. Your insurance company wrote a letter to Tallahassee saying, we don't have his money, we're not covering him. Then they got your payment, and they sent another letter to Tallahassee saying, never mind our first letter, we're covering him.
Right.
So on your record, you have continuous coverage, continuous coverage, continuous coverage. But if you had been stopped in between the due date for your payment and before they got it, you would have been here each of those times. So you need to set up some kind of a payment system so it's paid automatically.
All right.
How are you going to, do you have a checking account?
No, ma'am.
You have a savings account? Do you work?
Yes, ma'am.
Where do you work?
Soup to nuts and to varies.
Well, you need to come up with some way to have automatic payments, because if you get 3 driving while license suspended in a 5-year period, Tallahassee will take your license for 5 years. And if your if your payment to the insurance company had been like a day later and you got stopped, you would lose your license for 5 years.
Right.
All right. State, that's what this is all about. He was just late paying, and this time he got stopped before he could make his payment. But that, well, this time that's not so, because it was November. You haven't paid since November?
I think it was like December.
Okay. As soon as you got stopped, you fixed it. Are you willing to change it to a civil?
Your Honor, the defendant has a civil duelist on January 8th, 2013. So at this point...
No way.
Yes.
Then this is jail time. You were stopped in January for driving while license suspended, so you knew you were suspended. Was that in Lake County or somewhere else?
I believe it was in Lake County, Your Honor, but I can check.
You got stopped for driving while license suspended in January. Yes?
I think so. I think it was at night, and then the officer told me to come pay my tickets and get it fixed.
And did you?
I came and paid my tickets, like, I think it was 2 weeks ago, at the beginning of March.
But he told you were suspended,
Yes.
and then you drove anyway.
I had to go to work, I'm sorry.
No? Then I have to send you to jail. We all have choices. You knew you were not allowed to drive, and you drove anyway. Now, the first time we give you a break, and we were going to give you a break today because I thought it was your first one, but you got stopped in January and then drove again. There is no law that says you're not allowed to drive unless you have to go to work. Then it's okay to break the law.
Yes, ma'am.
Doesn't say that.
Right.
You knew you were not allowed to drive and you drove anyway. And you live in Eustis, and there's a bus that goes from Eustis to Tavares. I think it costs $1. You could have ridden a bicycle.
Right.
You could have gotten up earlier and walked. But now it's jail. It's 5 days in the Lake County Jail because in January you were told you're suspended, don't drive, and then you drove anyway. I don't have it on my record, so I'm glad you found that. Breaks my heart. So, today, you can go to jail for the 5 days starting today. You can look at that calendar and tell me a better day to turn yourself in. You can say not guilty and talk to an attorney, but if you're found guilty, because there's a prior, we could sentence you up to a year in jail. I wouldn't sentence you up to a year, but I could.
Today, March 27th.
Today's the 27th.
I do it April 11th.
Why so far away?
Just so I can get through this month and get
Okay.
everything situated.
And they do your schedule a week ahead?
Yes, ma'am.
So that gives some time to,
Get me off for
all right, April 11th at 7 p.m.
here or
at the jail. But if you don't show up to the jail, it will be 29 days in jail. We're doing a suspended sentence. What was it the state was recommending?
Your Honor, the state offer was an adjudication, 6 months probation with early term after paying a $200 fine. He paid all the citations.
Even though he had a prior?
He paid all the citations on March 12th. That was just the recommendation.
Now, I would have done that if he didn't have a prior. You would have done a civil if he didn't have a prior.
Yes, Your
Yeah.
Honor.
The only break I'll give you on that is I'll change it to 4 days instead of 5. And he's gonna turn himself in April 11th to do 4 days. You get no credit because you haven't been in jail yet.
Thank you.
And you get 3 of these in a 5-year period, and Tallahassee's going to take your license for 5 years.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, I need to talk about the one you had in January. You paid it, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So, I don't know why it didn't show up on your record, but I have to go back. Did you go to school to get the points off?
No, not yet.
All right, we're gonna go to that one, Miss Angie, and withhold. Were you in front of another judge on that, or you just went and paid it?
We just went and paid it.
We're gonna go back and withhold on that. If you get 3 driving while license suspendeds in a 5-year period, Tallahassee takes your license for 5 years.
Right.
That one counted as 1, this one counts as 2. We're gonna go back to the first one and make it not count.
Thank you, sir.
All right, well, I hope it won't matter because you're not gonna get another one. But, just in case, and you're gonna take care of your insurance so it's not,
It's already done.
yeah, but every time it comes due and you're late, this could happen again.
I will pay it on time every month.
I wanna come and shake you.
I need it.
So how are you going to get to, your license is fixed now? Okay, that's right, so you can drive now. Okay, Ryan Bennett, please. Mr. Bennett, you're charged with loitering or prowling. State, what's your recommendation?
Yes, Your Honor, will be an adjudication of guilt, 6 months probation. The defendant can early terminate after paying a $200 fine. The defendant is to complete 10 hours of community service, and the defendant is to complete the Goodwill employment class or show proof of employment.
Do you know why it was done as a loitering instead of a trespass?
The defendant was found outside of a property. He was riding his bicycle, and he was just rounding the neighborhood.
Well, and I don't understand why this wasn't a burglary, since apparently there was a theft. So for whatever reason, the state today is willing to offer the lowest end of things, which would be a loitering and prowling with the conditions she told you earlier. There seems to be probable cause for many other charges, but if you plead today, it will be an adjudication of guilt, 6 months probation, and get off of probation as soon as you pay a $200 fine, do 10 hours of community service, and complete the Goodwill employment class or provide proof of full-time employment.
I have all the abilities to work and do any type of job, but I just don't have the means for transportation at this point.
Where do you live?
Currently in Ferndale.
Ferndale?
Yes, ma'am.
At the time you were stopped here, you were riding a bicycle.
It's Claremont address, but yeah.
Well, that same bicycle can take you to work. So right now you're living in Ferndale.
Huh?
Right now you're living in Ferndale. Not a lot of job opportunities in Ferndale, but Mount Verde Academy is expanding, and you may look at some opportunities.
Yes, ma'am.
What kind of work have you ever done? Have you ever worked in like landscaping?
Absolutely. All construction, many different, yes.
Well, that's just an option. If you have a history that would make you like dangerous around children or something, that won't work.
No, ma'am.
All right, are you pleading no contest or saying not guilty? You want to talk to an attorney?
No contest.
Next, we have Wanda Sue. What should we do? She says she misunderstood you had to finish everything. Should we just put it off for another month while she finishes? She'd rather not go to jail.
Yes, please.
Probation's leaving the discretion to you, Your Honor. The court order from the last appearance does say for her to complete the community service.
And the reason, that's in my writing, and the reason I wrote that is I had a note from you all that she was in the middle of treatment and she was in the middle of something else. So I didn't think she's going to stop. I know. That's why I'm pulling my hair out.
And she didn't complete the hours, so.
She said she completed the hours.
I got 17 of them.
16.
16.
And she only did those in the last 3 days.
No, since last week.
It
Went
says
Saturday.
the 25th
Saturday,
Okay.
yeah.
and the 26th.
Miss Christine, thank you so much. All right. Given our new limitations, I think we're going to give her a jail offer today, which she's going to turn down, I know. So we're going to enter a not guilty plea on her behalf, and we're going to put it on the PNC sentencing docket. That gives her another month to finish, and we'll just see how that turns out. But if we have a hearing on this and you're found guilty, it will be jail time. I have no other option. So we're going to enter, if you want to plead today, we'll make it 10 days in the Lake County Jail, and all the money you owe will go towards the mandatories. Probation's terminated.
Can you do the weekend things with that? Because I have a daughter and my husband works and
If
there's
you
not
want
daycare for
to
her.
maintain your not guilty plea, we're going to enter a not guilty. I'm not appointing an attorney yet. We'll put it off to the next plea negotiation date, which is in about a month. And that will give you another month to finish everything. If you still haven't finished, we'll set it for trial.
Okay, let's,
But if you're found guilty at that trial, you're going to jail.
but that gives me the extra month. Okay, yes, let's do that one.
Okay, so we're not appointing the public defender,
Okay.
but she's entering a not guilty plea. And we're setting it for PNC sentencing. So you will have to be here at the new court date that Madam Clerk gives you. All right, have a seat.